I've also obtained video footage of the aftermath of the shooting in which local law enforcement can be heard discussing drone availability to clear the water tower. Very suspicious water tower. So the man who shot Trump was never a member of a local high school rifle team, and he wasn't bullied.
To say something like they did not protect me, it just sounds just wildly irresponsible.
Yeah, I mean, he's just capitalizing on the moment. And
what moment? Being shot in the head? Secret Service now implicated. That's according to Senator Chuck Grassley, who sent a very curious letter over to the director of the Department of Homeland Security. We know that Cheadle has left and resigned, running away from all the damage that she's caused, including the near assassination of the former president. But here is what Grassley sent, a letter over to the agency saying, there's something strange here with these photographs that I was able to cobble together from local law enforcement, and we'll look at them. But we've also got other updates on the shooter, the school refuting the claims, father speaking, and CNN being very CNN. And so let's zoom in on this actual letter that has come out from Chuck Grassley. He writes, to the Honorable Alejandro Mayorkas, and look at this name, who is now in this place, Mr. Ronald Rowe. Oh, that's the new acting director, United States Secret Service. Guess who's not there? Kimberly Cheadle. Almost got the president killed. Now she's probably, I don't know, maybe she's hanging out with Nathan Wade. Maybe they're on a cruise together since they're both no longer in government. But here's what Secretary Mayorkas and acting director of the Secret Service Rowe got from Chuck Grassley, the senator, ranking member, budget committee over in the Senate. He sent, all right, listen, DHS, Secret Service, I write to you again to request the Secret Service operational security plan and any related records for the J-13 attack on American democracy and the former president, held by President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. Now, my office has received records related to the apparent location of some law enforcement posts during the J-13 attack, to include Butler County and Beaver County Emergency Services Units, which is the ESU, which were in many instances trained with SWAT tactics, as we heard yesterday from the police colonel, with assignment at the AGR building. That's the building that we're all concerned about, where the shooter was on the roof. Now, Grassley says, the senator, my office has also obtained the below color-coded document indicating what appears to be some state law enforcement sectors for the Trump rally. So remember, we have a big distinction here between state law enforcement and Secret Service. And then we have questions about who was responsible for what. Secret Service pointing their fingers at the state saying you were responsible for that building. State, many of them saying no, we weren't. And then we also heard that the state maybe did take some responsibility for the building. But if the state did take responsibility for the building, when did that happen? And why was the Secret Service, who plans for these whole events, not at least covering the building if it was being delegated to somebody else, ensuring the delegation was happening appropriately? So we're going to look at this, but they say this is the state law enforcement sectors for the Trump rally, and the document notes each sector is highlighted by, quote, the order of importance. Now, is this document accurate? Asks Senator Grassley. Did local law enforcement have the shared responsibility with Secret Service to cover the AGR building where the shooter was? So to better understand the full security posture of the event, the Secret Service must provide equivalent records. So we got this from local cops, and here is what we see. Now, this is where Trump was speaking, right in this location. So we'll put a marker right there. This is approximate, right? But the counter snipers were on the roof here, where those red dots are. Shooter was over here in this location. You see the trees right about there. So we're missing any colors around this building. Nothing is there. So apparently, in order of importance, it went Sector 1, which you would presume would be where a lot of the crowd is, all seated in here. Trump's stage is up in this location. So Sector 2 is probably going to be pretty secure, right? Not really a public sector. Going to be pretty well cordoned off. The public will be in Sector 1, so we got to keep close tabs on them. Then we got Sector 3, which will be over here. Now, I don't know why they secured Sector 3, but they neglected to secure the mirror side of the stage. So you might say to yourself, well, Sector 3 has a direct line of sight to the Trump podium, maybe from this building where we draw this dot, or maybe Sector 4, you could put somebody on that roof or in those buildings. I don't know how tall they are, but okay, got to secure those. Makes sense. At least they're marked and highlighted. Now, it's also curious, the rest of this is also not really protected at all. So there's also buildings in this section. We're going to highlight in red the areas that are just totally neglected that might have a direct line of sight. You'd think you kind of want 360 degrees around the perimeter of the protectee. But here, that whole area is not at all accounted for. Now, you'll notice that Sector 5 goes out all the way over this direction, which is pretty strange. That's parking. Okay. So the main stage and the audience, as we suspected, is Sector 1. We have the barns and the motorcade. That's where the president will be in Sector 2. The entrance to the event is in Section 3, so people will come through this event and go through security. Section 4 are the be ponds, PONDS, and the parking is going to be in section 5. Section 6 is going to be EMA, EMS, fire, police parking, and then sector 7. So all the support team will be back here behind the barn, and then the hangars, the dairy, and the barns are all going to be in sector 7. So they neglected all of this, which maybe, I don't know, residential perhaps, looks like Sarah Lane, and these might be little homes with maybe some various houses there in this vicinity. But then this whole area where the shooter was, totally uncategorized. Nothing is even there, right? Just totally unaccounted for in this entire security plan. So if this is what Chuck Grassley got from local law enforcement, then what is the Secret Service doing saying this is their responsibility? This is not accounted for them, right? Local law enforcement, hey, these are our duties. So this is not accounted for. So presumably Secret Service has it. Or over here, a bunch of these buildings probably have a pretty clear line of sight to the president. Same with this residential area. These definitely look like houses. And maybe these are just residential houses, so they're not tall enough to get a direct line of sight. But the point is, this is unaccounted for. And as we've seen, it's like 120, 150 yards golf chip into that from this location. So the Secret Service, who created this document? Did they create it? Did the local police create it? That building was not accounted for. Why? So Grassley says, now additional records I've obtained show that a Secret Service counter unmanned aerial system UAS operator was on the personnel list. A drone operator was actually on the list for the J-13 attack. And then Director Cheadle testified yesterday that, yeah, there are times during a security plan where the Secret Service does deploy an asset like a drone. Yet it's reported here that the gunman flew a video-capable drone over the event site hours before Trump took the stage, which may have helped him plan the attack. So then we need to know, is the reporting accurate? Christopher Wray testified that, yeah, it was. And is the below document accurate? So Secret Service is being asked about this from Chuck Grassley. Here's what he has revealed. Here is the communications list from the presidential rally at the Butler Farm Show where Trump was almost assassinated. Here are the people who were assigned basic local communications information. Butler ESU is one person, name redacted, phone redacted. Beaver ESU, name redacted. Butler ESU, redacted. Then we have one Secret Service counter sniper, so local cops here. Secret Service counter sniper. We have a lead transportation. Don't know if that's with the Secret Service or what. We have a farm show site. We have an intelligence person. We have a technical security lead, a counter UAS written in there in pen, drone. And then we have field office supervisor and farm show supervisor. Names and contact information redacted. I'd also like to know what agencies they're with. This is feds and local, just placeholders, kind of like a menu when you're ordering something. How many pizzas are we going to need? Okay, we're going to need 2 sausages. Oh, she's a veggie person. Okay, get her veggies. So, whatever. And then you just order it all. And then they fill in the gaps with the actual people. We need an intelligence person. We need a counter sniper team. Okay, you're going to be that team. So prepared by, don't have a name on that. Position title, don't have a name on that. Signature, nope, don't have that either. So Grassley continues saying, on July 16th, I wrote to Homeland and the Secret Service requesting information on the catastrophic failures that resulted on the J-13 assassination attack on Trump. 1 person killed, 2 seriously wounded. On J-20th, I provided Homeland and Secret Service portions of emails, which we read here, relating to the post standers. We know that Jill had a bunch of them. Trump only had 3. And I requested to know, says Senator Chuck Grassley, the total number of post standers at the Jill Biden and the Trump events on J-13. Why did Jill Biden have a bunch of them? And why did Trump only have 3? Jill spoke to like 200, 300 people for 5 minutes. Trump had a rally of thousands. And also, Grassley wants to know the total number of federal personnel present at the Trump rally, saying recently, I've also obtained video footage of the aftermath of the shooting in which local law enforcement can be heard discussing drone availability to clear the water tower. Very suspicious water tower. Can you fly something over there to make sure there's not a shooter on there? Because a bunch of people said there were. The Secret Service must provide its operational security plan, Ronald, showing the locations and the roles of all federal personnel assigned to the J-13 event. So in other words, if this is the local assignment, what was the Secret Service assignment? Or was this the Secret Service assignment and the local assignment? And if so, who approved that and why? So they continue telling us, so please give us this information immediately, no later than July 30th. Mayorkas and Rowe says, did the U.S. Secret Service, local or state law enforcement deploy any drones at the rally? If not, why not? Did the Secret Service receive requests from local or state law enforcement agencies to operate drones? Did you approve those requests? And if not, why not? Was there an unauthorized drone intrusion within the restricted airspace of the event? If so, when did that happen? Please provide all records about that. Were you even monitoring monitoring it. Was the counter drone operator aware of this intrusion? Because apparently you had him on the list that he was there. So did he know? Did the counter operator deploy countermeasures in response to this intrusion? If not, why not? If yes, let us see what he did. Now, who at the Secret Service was responsible for making the final decision to deploy UAS or counter UAS for the event? Because no one signed that form. Please provide all records between the U.S. Secret Service, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, sheriffs, federal law enforcement related to the use of drones and the counter use of drones on this event. And saying since January 2021, something else happened then, has the U.S. Secret Service deployed drones or counter drones during campaign events at rallies? And if yes, please provide a detailed description of their use and how you use your drones. Please also provide all guidance and policies about training for your drones and counter drone operators. Now, was the water tower cleared in advance of the rally? Did you send your drone over there? Did you look at the water tower before? If not, why not? And did the water tower have any role in the events at the Trump rally? We want to know that. At the rally, please describe if there was any role. Thank you for your prompt attention to our request. If you have any questions, please contact our team. Shout out to Bryant and Sylvia. You guys rock. Sincerely, Chuck Grassley, ranking member, Committee on the Budget. So nice letter from Chuck Grassley. Well, we know that there is a lot more happening. The Secret Service has asked Trump to stop having rallies outdoor, saying that Trump should go inside or else he might be shot in the head again, which is interesting. We remember during COVID, they didn't want Trump to have rallies. They said you have to social distance or everybody will die. Do you want to be responsible for killing grandmas all throughout America? You piece of... And they locked us down and did all the things so that they couldn't hang out. We couldn't hang out with our friends. People were dying alone in the hospitals. We'll never forget that. But soon as it was a time to burn down the 3rd precinct in Minneapolis, then there was no problem. COVID was not even a big deal at all. All of them went out and did it. Kamala Harris was like, yeah, burn it down. Social justice. Still has a tweet about that up on her X account. But now they don't want Trump and his people outside again. So they're just going to, I guess, keep lodging bullets at his head, just thunk, 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 until he gets the message. So here is what they're telling him. We're so incompetent, we can't cover the roofs of sloped buildings because our sloped brains can't process it. Says Secret Service officials encouraged Trump to stop going outside. In the aftermath of the shooting, agents from the Secret Service communicated their concerns, saying, hey, we're totally incompetent. Okay, look, I know we pretend like we know what we're doing. We have no idea what we're doing. So if you want to live, man, just go inside. I know, just trust me, dude. You have to take your bro's word for it. Like, really? Like, don't get the steak? Don't get it. All right, fine, I won't get it. So the people familiar spoke on condition of anonymity. Now, for upcoming events, Trump's team is scouting indoor venues like basketball stadiums, other large spaces, the campaign not planning any large outdoor events because the Secret Service is trying to get him killed. A Trump campaign spokesman declined to comment. Spokesman for the Secret Service says, we don't comment on our protective methods. What protective methods? What are you talking about? Just tell us. Everybody knows you don't have any. Trump has held hundreds of outdoor rallies since launching his first presidential bid, often bragging about, sometimes falsely inflating, yeah, right, his large crowds. You want to talk about false inflation? Now, they have become something of a cult favorite among his passionate fans. Exactly, which is why they had to shoot him at one of them. With tailgate parties in parking lots, vendors lining up open areas. They're huge, gigantic parties of people who love this country. Now, they usually include large rosters of speakers, goes on for hours, and now you can't do them anymore. Indoor rallies more expensive, but one campaign official who spoke on condition of anonymity to describe the private plan said the indoor events are inherently safer because we can control, there's a finite number of doors, there are fewer line of sight issues, and so on. Which always seems weird to me because there's so many crevices in those big stadiums and stuff. Like, can they have everything covered? It feels like outdoor might be better, but you know, who knows? Now, obviously with an indoor venue, you have capacity. It doesn't pack the same punch. There's something about being at those outdoor rallies. And they say, yeah, well, it's complicated outdoors. There could be tens of thousands of people. Yeah. Most other former presidents rarely appear in public because no one likes them. And agents usually arrive well in advance. It's not like this is a complicated thing, okay? They've stopped many other presidents from being shot in the head. They didn't cover a simple roof. The crowd was like, hey, Secret Service idiots, tapping him in the head. Hey, moron, you know, there's a shooter up there. Idiots? You're like, duh? Well, let me call it in after he shoots him. So it's not complicated, but they just don't want to, I guess, be responsible for Trump. And so if he does a rally outside, guess what this means? They'll say, we told you so. Hey, well, sorry he got shot in the head. We told him not to go outside again, but he did it anyways. So that's their article over from the Washington Post and telling us to stop outdoor rallies. Now we're learning more about the shooter. Apparently the school says all this talk about him being bullied and on the rifle team and so on, nonsense. None of it's true. This came over from our friends at the Epoch Times. And here is what they have told us, that in fact, he was not a member of the rifle team at all. And the school says he wasn't bullied. So what does that leave? I guess his encrypted apps with his his random friends talking about baseball cards or whatever, with no social media profile, traveling to DC. So the man who shot Trump was never a member of a local high school rifle team, and he wasn't bullied, says Bethel Park School District. They updated a statement and they published it on its website. And here's what they said. It says Bethel Park School District from Bethel Park can confirm that the alleged shooter of the J13th assassination attack on Trump is a graduate of the high school, graduated in 2022. The school district wishes to express its sincere wishes for a speedy and complete recovery for Mr. Trump, president, and those in attendance at the Saturday event who may have been physically harmed or emotionally impacted by these tragic events, like a car accident or something. Now, we offer special condolences to the family of Mr. Corey Comparator, who was killed. Our thoughts and prayers are with you at this difficult time. Now, our school district will be cooperate and fully cooperative with active law enforcement investigations and so on, and we'll do that moving forward. Now, there have been some things that need to be corrected. The school tells us correcting the record. Updated. Says it has been reported that the shooter was a member of the Bethel Park High School rifle team or tried out for it, but was dismissed due to poor performance or because the coach had character concerns. The assailant was never a member of the school's rifle team. We have no record of him trying out. The coach does not recall meeting him. However, it's possible the shooter informally attended a practice, took a shot, never returned. We don't have any record of that happening. Now, there's also a false claim that the shooter once threatened violence against the school because they're trying to make him like a regular standard shooter. Oh, he's just a weird kid. Nothing to look at here. Forget about it. In 2019, there was an unfortunate incident involving threats made by a different student against specific school administrators. That incident was thoroughly investigated and quickly addressed, and the student involved received appropriate discipline. It had no connection whatsoever to the would-be assassin. So why are these stories all being seeded? What is this? And bullying. And they say there also is a painful misconception that one of our students was relentlessly bullied in school, which may have led to the assassination attempt of President Trump. There we go. Now, the school district maintains detailed records, including academic performance, attendance, disciplinary history, and health records. Now, according to our records, the shooter excelled academically. The shooter regularly attended school. He had no disciplinary incidents at all, including those related to bullying or threats. The assailant was known as a quiet, bright young man who generally got along with his teachers and classmates. Weird. Since graduating in 2022, the shooter, this is from bpsd.org from the school, earned an associate's degree in engineering science from a community college in Allegheny County and worked as a dietary aide at Bethel Park Skilled Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. It would be wildly irresponsible for us to speculate on his state of mind in the 2 years since we last saw the failed assassin. Wild. So where are all these weird stories coming from? He was bullied. That's why he did it. Weird, strange kid. No, good student. Always attended. Attendance records were there. Did well. Probably straight A kid, Graduated. Got an associate's degree. Went to community college. No problem at all. No threats of violence. No bullying. No rifle team involvement at all. So if he didn't have rifle team involvement, where did he learn to shoot? How did he know how to use a rangefinder? Even how to assemble all the components, right? He went and bought ammunition the day of, was probably there flying a drone around. Was this just a hobby of his, or was he hanging out with other people who were showing him how to do this? Don't know. Very interesting report from the school, Bethel Park School District. You see their official statement just recently updated, and we'll keep our eye on that one. Now, the father has also spoken, kind of. New York Post has this report for us saying that the father now speaks out for the first time, but kind of. He doesn't really speak out much. Father of the would-be assassin has revealed the family is, quote, just trying to take care of ourselves. He stepped out in public for the first time following the shooting. Now, Matthew Brian Crooks, 53, made the remarks as he was spotted leaving a grocery store. That's all we got. Says, just trying to get on with our lives. Seeing that with Crush and Gatorade. That's just great. Says, we want to just try to take care of ourselves right now. You can start with pouring that down the drain. Please just give us our space, as he loaded bags of poison into his car. We're going to release a statement when our legal counsel advises us to do so. Until then, we have no comment. All right, so that's what he said. Not much there. Yeah, I do have some empathy for him, right? Who knows what went down in that household or what he's going through, but he did lose a son, and, I don't have kids, but for any parent, I can't even imagine. We also have CNN saying, don't you dare say it was irresponsible to say that the Secret Service didn't protect Trump after Trump was shot in the head. Jim Acosta, you know who he is. Here's this ridiculous clip from these two knuckleheads over on CNN. Says, Acosta's very professional. Don't you scold them. They only got people killed and maimed.
And there's also reaction coming in from Donald Trump. Apparently, he said on Truth Social, the Biden-Harris administration did not properly protect me, and I was forced to take a bullet for democracy. It was my great honor required to do so. I mean, that appears to be what the former president is saying. Perhaps he's not aware that the director has stepped down, but that's what he's saying right now on Truth Social. Let me go back to Jonathan Wackrow, who's still with us, I believe. Jonathan, when you hear the former president saying something like that, what's your reaction? I mean, obviously the Secret Service is a professional operation. That, you know,
not really.
The fact to say something like they did not protect me, it just sounds just wildly irresponsible.
Yeah, I mean, he's just capitalizing on the moment. And
what moment? Being shot in the head?
He's looking at this through the color of politics, not the reality of the situation.
That he was shot in the head. All right, so that's them. Now, they will continue on with that. They really don't like how Trump survived and then thrived politically after this ordeal, because courage is contagious and the people saw him for what he is, which is Donald Trump. And they don't like the fact that they don't have that. So Secret Service implicated here. We'll see if we get some responses from Homeland and from the Secret Service agencies, and we'll cover it when we do. Thank you for subscribing, my friends, wherever it is you're watching this. Thanks for sharing our channel with a friend or family member, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here on the next one.